Good morning, and welcome to your VPR Thursday with your favorite Libra duo, your girl Kiana the Goddess, and the one and only DJ FMI, keeping the city and the world on tilt. Hi, partner. How are you today?
I woke up this Thursday. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna start the show right. I don't want
Okay.
it to be loud in the studio. So 1 second, VPR. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in very early. I just want to make this right.
The city and
Everybody that's tuning in very early. There we go. So good morning, VPR. I woke up feeling like a superhero today. Feeling like I could accomplish anything. It is a beautiful morning to be alive. I get to talk to you guys. I get to see you guys pour in here every morning early, and it's always an experience.
yes,
So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kiana the Goddess.
good
Here
morning.
we are, VPR.
Here we are. So I know before we began the show, you said you got a great Valentine's Day gift, and you
Yes, VPR. So I want to jump into, we're gonna have our guests here in a few minutes. So I wanted to let the room fill in so, at least a little bit more people could see. But
Mhm.
Kiana, let's kick this off. Before we bring up my Valentine's Day gift,
Mhm.
how dare you not even bring up your Valentine's? Everybody's curious to see how Kiana spends her Valentine's. We wait yearly.
I don't
We
know
wait
why.
yearly, Kiana. We wait
You really
yearly.
shouldn't. I had a quiet, beautiful Valentine's Day,
Hmm.
and the kids, and I got them some donuts, and it was just a very loving, warm kind of day. So it was actually the best kind of day that I could have, relaxing, did a nice dinner. I don't go out for any sort of like
Yeah,
Valentine's
yeah.
Day,
Let's
Mother's
talk about it.
Day.
I was
Mm-mm.
Kiana. I don't know if it's me or this year I've been holidayed out.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very dry for these holidays. Yeah, I've been like doing the you know, the expected things that I should do, but gift giving
Yeah,
and things like that. I'm
right,
not going above and beyond. Like I don't feel the spirit myself, but
right.
this Valentine's Day, I'm like, I'm too old for this now. All right, people.
You know what it is though, when you go out on any of these holidays, Mother's Day,
Hmm.
Father's Day, right?
Yeah.
Usually the food isn't great because there's so many people there. So they're just
Yeah.
out the kitchen. Like I've gone out sometimes and it's like, okay, besides the waiting, even if you have a reservation, the money is escalated. They overcharge you. They charge you your tip in advance. You can't get the waiter's attention to come and bring you the things that you need that they missed. Your lobster's overcooked, right? Like, so
Not the lobster
yeah,
overcooked. You don't want overcooked
lobster
lobster
is
VPR.
overcooked. The meal is over, honey.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd
The
rather
Valentine
make
is
my
not
own lobster.
Valentining.
When I
Wrap
make
it up.
my lobster, it's never overcooked. So, those are the things because I enjoy cooking too, like watching my kids last night, like nom 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 nom. I'm like, I love this sort of thing. I made my daughter's birthday is in 2 days. She's turning
Yes.
13. So Valentine's Day is always
Happy
nice
early birthday.
segue to her birthday, so I made her because I don't cook on Friday. So she's like, "You're gonna make my favorite meal?" I'm like, "I made your favorite meal today on Valentine's Day for your birthday, a pre-birthday Valentine's Day meal. Enjoy it."
That's crazy. And Kiana could cook, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Before people was, outside the kitchen and doing whatever they had to do, Kiana was just like, let me learn something while I was here. You know what I mean? Pick
Yep.
something up.
Yep.
As you should. I could make rice on the stove, ladies. So for y'all interested, I don't need a crock pot or whatever you call that. You know
He
what I'm
got the
saying?
side,
I'm
y'all.
outside.
The main dish. Just make the protein. He's got the rice.
But yeah, no, Keanu, for Valentine's Day, for me, it was very calm. I spent it getting some work done, and then after work, before work, I worked out, and then after work, I actually worked out, and
Mhm.
then I got a gift here, VPR. Well,
Yeah.
and these are the things that are memorable because I always question people that purchase these things.
Hmm.
But if there's one way to get someone to purchase something VPR, you got to put their face on it. So, oh, you can't even see it because of
Oh,
the
we
thing.
can't see. Is that a film?
Oh man. So guess what? So since you guys can't see on the live, I'm gonna post it on YouTube and you guys can see it there in one of our posts or one of our shorts if
Yeah,
you care to see or on our Instagram. So what it is what the pops
that's what I
Kiana,
thought.
yeah,
The
so it
box.
has customized with me, my dog, my hat, holding headphones and
Yo,
so that
that's
was
so
very
lit,
thoughtful.
girl. I need a picture before you post that. I need you to text that to me. I need to see. That's so lit.
Yeah, nah, it was dope. It came in the casing and everything, so I'm definitely gonna like
Um,
put that up there. It was a dope gift, very
that's a
thoughtful.
one of a kind too, right? Like that's an
You
irreplaceable.
know what I mean? When you put my face on it, you sold me. I'm like, why would I purchase something? I would purchase this. I think you guys should purchase it. It's a dope pop. You know what I
It's a
mean?
winner. Well, where is
Uh,
it available for sale? I want one for sure.
you see what I'm saying? We'll figure it out through VPR's website. So go check that out on our link in
Yeah.
bio. We appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. So, Kiana, other than the Valentine's Day kerfuffles, did you other than the people fighting and it was a nasty Valentine's Day
I was
also.
doing laundry. I was running around doing errands. Like I
I
was
was
chilling.
I was making money, man, and being an
Yeah,
adult.
right. I was working.
But Kiana, before we open up the show and open up the floor, because I have some things I want to cross over. But
Yeah.
Kiana, it is a very nasty world out there. I would normally bring pictures up here, VPR and videos, but it is so nasty. I don't even need to do that.
Ugh.
Just watch you lay down with VPR. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what's men's infatuation with dating porn stars, but
Ooh.
from every instance when I see that they, break up or whatever the case may be, it's not cute.
Right.
When you have a child with a porn star, I don't know, it might be different.
How
But
does that
Kiana, it's bad. Look at my phone all ringing. That's rude of me. But yeah, no. So with
Y'all
that
know
being
better than to be calling FMI during VPR radio.
during VPR, they gotta act like they know. See, I was about to cuss. It's too early. I feel too good. But yeah, so with that being said, Kiana, this porn star, she broke up with one of her rappers, Freddie Gibbs,
Okay.
and he posted his new girlfriend for Valentine's Day. I think he was like in Dubai kissing her, underneath the fireworks, and his ex-girlfriend posted a picture of him spreading his ass cheeks, looking back at the camera. This is on Twitter going crazy. Instagram, they really calling him Spready Gibbs instead of Freddie Gibbs now. It's really Spready Gibbs.
Yeah, I just literally did the Home Alone.
Yeah, nah. He all
What?
smiles. So whatever that did for him. So you got to watch you lay down with VPR. That's all I'm gonna say. Valentine's Day could be sweet.
Wow.
Well, yeah. You got a kid with that woman too.
Wow.
So VPR.
Kid.
Go
I
ahead.
give
Oh, the kid. You know what? Yeah, we don't even got to dive into it. It's a lot of darkness. It's too much darkness. I don't even like. I don't. You know what I mean? I just wish him the best. It's sad when you got
yes,
that. But
that's
Yana, did you find yourself watching the Super Bowl this?
I did not.
You did not.
I did
Me
not.
either,
I
partner.
won't even lie. I didn't even watch halftime. I didn't watch Usher. I didn't watch the whole scandal with Alicia Keys. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Usher went and got married. So for all of those that were like, "Oh, Usher," he ain't worried about nothing. He went and got married on Valentine's Day, I believe.
For me, I was setting up because I had an event running at the same time as the Super Bowl, and I was disinterested in the game anyway. And this is the first time VPR. I will never condone gambling. Okay, so I never do.
Yeah.
But this one time for the Super Bowl, I was like, you know what, FanDuel, it will be easy because it's on my phone. This ain't sponsored. They need to, pay me. But I was like, I'll put $5 on a coin toss. That's all I care about.
Okay.
I didn't watch the game, so I'm setting up the event. I end up finishing the event. I check my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, I got paid. I'm like, oh, let me go see if I won. Let me see my luck.
Yeah.
I ain't win nothing VPR.
Yeah.
The moral story is don't gamble. Long story short is, that Usher performance. I would not consider myself not an Usher fan, but
okay.
Yeah, Kiana. It was a performance. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing. A lot of people are saying.
Usher. I think he's always a performer. He's a great entertainer. He can dance his behind off, right? So I think there's no combating that. And I know he has a residency in Vegas. So,
a lot of people said it was like a shorter set of his residency in Vegas because it's rushed through. As far as the songs and the selections, it's weird for me to have R&B on front stage for the Super Bowl because I'm getting pumped up. That's just my take, but I'm not against it because he mixed everything together.
Right.
But with that Alicia Keys missing that note though, VPR,
I heard about that. Oof.
I found it more interesting how now we're in an age where you can touch it up after the fact because now they actually fixed the vocal on the YouTube on the posting for the show. You can go check it. There's 2 videos. They took down the other one and they fixed the vocals.
The only reason I knew that she missed a note is because I saw a meme that has Alicia at the piano and it says, "Just know if you see this, we're starting off on the wrong note."
Yeah. Wow, the internet's undefeated.
I was like, "Uh-oh, Alicia."
It's undefeated. Yeah, for me, you know what I mean? It was I love the Prince show. I loved Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And I did love Bruno Mars. Like they were great performers. And I love what this is gonna do for Usher's sales. All in all, more people will maybe go see his show in Vegas, and he could capitalize on this moment. So that's what I'm gaining from it. Someone fell. A lot of people flubbed. I know his hand didn't light up. It was supposed to light up or something like that. So a lot of mishaps. One of the dancers, I think she fell off a pole. I wish I should have pulled up the video here. And somebody got tossed in the air. His legs was just going crazy. We don't know if he landed. So yeah, VPR. That is where we at with it. I really didn't care about the game. And it's crazy how much Ice Spice and Taylor Swift I seen during the game. So
really?
Yeah, they kept panning the camera to them. That the NFL is either they greasing Taylor Swift's hand, and she's raising sales out the roof with this relationship.
And I don't get this whole Taylor Swift thing. For instance, she's an ambassador for New York City. She's not from New York City.
Where is she from? That's a great question. I should have Googled
Midwest or something. She's not from no damn New York City. Let's find out. Hey Siri.
Live on VPR.
Where is Taylor Swift from?
I'll need to access your TikTok data to do this.
This is what Siri does, y'all. Just so you know, why do you need to access my TikTok data to tell me?
They doing a little bit too much now. But yeah, the Taylor Swift with the NFL, I can see what it's doing for the numbers.
Yeah,
but I don't see why they shouldn't have her perform for the Super Bowl next year or something like that. I can see that happening.
Yeah,
I think it's supposed to be in New Orleans, so I would say Lil Wayne, but I don't think does Lil Wayne have enough hits that he could perform there?
I think
that it's on a global scale where it will cross over to the NFL's fan base. You dig what I mean?
To the NFL fan base. I mean, I think more so with the features, right? When you're talking about on a widespread. I don't know.
Yeah, because look at when it came to like 50 Cent or when it came to Bruno Mars, they brought out Red Hot Chili Peppers and things like that. They incorporate some rock into it and different elements. Now, Lil Wayne, not saying he did have a show with Blink 182 for like a whole year, so he did go on tour with it.
True.
So that's the thing.
True.
It's not possible.
Right. I think a collaborative effort, but I don't know if like a Millie is gonna connect.
Yeah, or it's gonna take a lot of lollipops, and I don't know if Go DJ's gonna do it.
Probably not lollipop.
Yeah. And then after that, everything is him cussing. So I don't know.
Right.
Not to say that they can't edit it out. They have 50 Cent up there and Dr. Dre, so
true.
It's possible.
Very true. Very true.
So VPR, I am looking forward to our guest today. Honestly, we are going to chop it up about a bunch of financial literacy. And that's always a topic that I want to get into because I'm about saving a bag here on VPR. And if I can help you guys save a bag, why wouldn't I?
That's right. And I think that it is so important to get to the core. And whenever we can get these financial educators and these financial experts, and, Dr. Jatali has all of the professional experience behind her belt, and then, working to help children learn to bank and become successful. It's so important because when you give your children these seeds, right, especially when we're talking about our community, just being born as a person of color, you were already born with a strike against you, right? So the financial impact, it all carries down. And I really can't wait to get into that because the more that we educate and the more that we teach people that they can do these things. Like, I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people where they're like, oh, I can't afford to buy stocks and I can't do this and that. And I'm like, you literally, the stuff that you purchase on the side, you could take $10 or $20 and just put it and put it and watch it build up. And you'd be surprised how much money you could save. But I see that she has come.
I'm going to let you introduce her up, and I have something I want to go over with both of you that I'm looking forward to. So, Kiana, take the stage.
Yes, I definitely want to bring Dr. Jatali Bellanton up to the stage. We have been looking forward to meeting you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Cheers, everyone. Quick question. Is my background loud to you? Or are you good?
It's okay. It's a little, there's like a...
Can you give me 1 minute?
Sure.
I know how to fix a problem.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so we'll bring her right back. I know you said you wanted to share something, but FMI, what do you think about that? Do you think that, like, were you impacted growing up, or like, did your family give you the seeds to say, hey, son, save your money, do it this way, do it that way?
Kiana. All right.
I don't want to be rude. Is that better now?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
is better. That is better. Very
Okay,
clear.
so I'm a mama bear. So just real quick, I was home and I was cooking, and
Oh.
my little one woke up and he was like, "I want steak for breakfast," and I was like, "Steak, bro?" And so I'm, so I had the exhaust fan on, and I was like, "Wait, I wonder if you guys can hear it." But anyway,
Oh, I'm a mama bear too, so I can dig it.
yeah.
But I had just asked FMI like how he was impacted, right? Like if he learned about saving and stuff when he was young.
So to me to answer that question, my family didn't go too much into saving and having that conversation with me. I had to figure that out honestly after high school. You know, getting my own bank account. They didn't teach me anything about credit. I figured that out at like 25. And I was just like, all right, let me research it enough to go and get a card with a low API and different things like that. And I would sit down. So all of that came to me later on in life, and I still find myself working through it now. I've sat down with a few financial advisors, to go over what I do in my portfolio. But yeah, it was very much skipped over and not even looked into in school. So, Dr.
Right.
Jatali, I'm going to let you take the stage.
Yeah, that's why we're so happy to have you here, because I know that there's so much to teach us, and you are working with the children doing Kids Who Bank, and you are being so impactful on a really large level. So let's run through your resume, because I want everyone to know your resume speaks for itself, right? And what you've done and what you've accomplished professionally. And then let's talk about the heart core of what you do and what you can teach everyone who's watching about saving, about credit, etc.
Brilliant. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be on your platform today. My background, I'm a neuropsychologist who focuses on mental and financial health. I spent 14 and a half years professionally in the corporate finance space. So I've done investment banking. At one point, managed $3.1 billion in money. And just being from the wealth management side of things, I started analysis, right? So I worked my way up. And then eventually I did forensic accounting. And that was also very cool and exciting. But leaving corporate, I realized I wanted to be a hands-on parent, as you can see. So as an entrepreneur, it's really a balance of motherhood and parenting. And that's part of what created Kids Who Bank, which was my first organization teaching financial literacy to youth. But then that has now evolved into Brilliant Minds Unite, where we're teaching now adults financial literacy. That evolution really truly came during COVID, because I had a few friends like Patricia Robinson and a few key people who were like, "Hey, I know an artist who just has 300,000 sitting in a bank account. Can you talk some sense into them?" And I was just like, "Wait, in a regular bank account?" And then I'm realizing that our community didn't even know that, hey, the FDIC only insures 250,000 if it's in a regular bank account, which means that other $50,000 is not safe or protected. Also, understanding something as simple as the S&P 500 averages, which is stock market, averages 8% per year, right? 1 year might be 12%, 1 year might be 6%, but when you do the math, it averages 8% per year. So if you have your money in a regular bank account, you're getting 0.03 to 0.09% on average. So you're actually hurting yourself, you're hurting your finances, you're not really maximizing your growth potential. And then on top of that, your money's not even protected to past a certain point. So we need multiple accounts at that point, right? Or have a high yield savings account, high net worth account, and different type of platforms. So it just was like a mind shift. It was like, how can I help more adults enter this space? Realizing a lot of adults had issues of using money as a coping mechanism, the survivor's guilt. And then, I realized that was the highest amongst like a lot of athletes or celebrities who were leaving that space, where it's like, I came from an inner city community where everyone wants you to put them on. So it's like, okay, but now we're on the plane, right? So now you're on a plane, the plane is going down, you have to put your oxygen mask on first. And if you're not taking care of yourself and your cup is not full and you're not pouring from the overflow, what ends up happening is that you both go down. You both die. And so it's like, how do we teach people how to survive and thrive and not just only survive?
Kiana,
Right.
I love that. This is the conversation that I never had, at a young age, sure, to understand it. And I seen that in 2019, you got the Mother of the Year award.
Wow.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Congratulations.
You
Thank
got the
you.
award for that. You hear VPR?
So it's so funny. Someone told me they think I was the first Black New York State Mother of the Year. I'm not sure if that's true, but it's quite interesting. So that year, when I got submitted, there was this woman who So when I was teaching and going into our curriculum went into 400 schools as of December, 398 schools to be exact, as of December of this year that just passed. And so the journey to that.
That for a second, the curriculum for financial education went into how many schools?
398 schools.
398 schools. And that is such a big, huge starting point, because what did we just finish saying? Neither you nor myself learned any sort of financial education in school. And it's so important, because if your parents aren't teaching you and you're not getting it in school, where are you going to get it?
Where you're going to get to it. So the beginning part of that process to get to the point where we are now, I literally would have my son on my hip and I'd be going to the schools, and his godmother would meet me at the school sometimes and like watch him in the teacher's lounge what I taught. And then by the time I was done teaching, he was back on my hip. And so on one of those occasions, I used to live in Long Island. And on one of those occasions, I was on my way to teach at a school in Brooklyn, and my son wanted almond milk. And, you know, being a mama bear, I'm like, okay, let's run into the Stop and Shop. Let's go get you some almond milk. And so you could be happy and relaxed while I'm teaching. And this woman, this Russian woman saw me, and she's like, her daughter is like, Mommy, that's the woman who taught me about couponing. And, you know, her daughter was like 7, and she was like, oh my God, we cannot leave the house without coupons now because of you. And just that experience of that, she was like, oh my God, like, and is that your son? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, do you live in Brooklyn? I'm like, no, I'm actually headed to go teach. And she's like, with your son on your hip? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, team, no excuses. I knew I had big goals. And I also knew I wanted to homeschool him and take care, be more hands-on in the beginning phase of his life. And I think my son at that time might have been like 3 years old. And she was like, this is amazing. I would like to submit you for something. Can I get your email address and your information? I was like, sure. And I didn't know what it was. And then next thing I know is like, oh, Jackie Kennedy and all these amazing people have been awarded with this New York State Mother of the Year award, and you've been nominated by this woman. And when I saw her name, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then I ended up winning it. So it was really exciting. It was a beautiful experience to go to like Capitol Hill and have conversations in regards to what we thought were important factors as parents that we wanted to see and speak more of. Obviously, I spoke about financial literacy when I got to Capitol Hill. That's, you know, we met with like the New York State senators, etc. And, you know, we got to have a conversation on Capitol Hill in regards to what do we think as parents are important for the next gen. And so, yeah, that was an exciting, amazing experience.
Absolutely.
The universe works in wonders. You going there, her bumping into you, seeing you, the child recognizing you.
Everything that connected those dots, right?
Right. Yeah. And it started with a 7-year-old little girl who I taught one workshop to. And
but
I think that's the beautiful part.
Right? Like you took her home to her mother, and she was with the coupons, and mom's now taking on the coupons, and it was all because of you. So that's a beautiful thing.
It was definitely was exciting, to be honest.
And I just want to read some of the comments in the chat. This is a much needed conversation. I'm grateful to be a part of the conversation. Jacob Anderson.
Thank you.
Messiah. Yes to the guest. Financial literacy needs to be taught at an early age. Again, with the CPN, credit privacy number. What are the benefits of you enlightening us about the benefits about this file? You know, so people are pouring in love in our comments. They're reading and they're listening to you and they're loving it. So can you just give us some of the day-to-day ways that you save a penny? I heard that you start with the couponing. That I need to get bigger on. They used to have shows about it, and here I am being blissfully ignorant.
So, I mean, coupon is definitely good. I know now there are apps. I can't promote any in particular, but there are apps now that literally digitally on your phone, you just tell them where you like to shop and they give you all the coupons that are accessible for you. So couponing has become a different game. Back in the day, I was horrible at it because I don't like mess and clutter. So I didn't want to have to be cutting out stuff to bring to the store. But now that it's digital, that makes life really easy. And I mean, everything from Bed Bath & Beyond to Home Depot, there are coupons that you can find. So why not save $10, $15 when it's really nothing off of you, no skin off your back, right? And then I'm very big on just budgeting. So if I know I have a big goal, then I'm going to put aside $5, $10. If I was going to buy something that's $100, I'm going to look to see if I can find it cheaper. And if I save $20, I'll take that $20 that I saved and put towards like a stock that I want to purchase or something of that nature. And another way is including like our children. So like my son, for instance, when he wants to buy a toy, I make him earn it. He cleans up after himself. He puts his Hot Wheels away. Like my house, like if you look at my home, it's very white and like bright. And I'm like, little man, you like cleanliness. You're going to help us maintain the cleanliness and in order to earn your dollar Hot Wheel car, whatever it is that he wants. And so that's one of the really cool things that I tell parents we don't do enough. We should start teaching even the children how to budget, earn, and save, right? Because a kid, if you tell them that the apple juice that they like costs $7, but there's one that costs $2 that might taste comparable, and just give it a try, they might like it, and you're saving $5, right? And that money that you're saving can be going towards a budget towards another toy that they want, or something else, savings or a big purchase. There's a lot of parents who are transitioning from apartment living, condo living to like a house. That becomes a process where you can include your children. Like, hey, we're going to sacrifice the big party at Chuck E. Cheese because instead we're going to go to X, Y, and Z. And that's going to allow us to save closer towards that goal. Instead of waiting 3 years to move into the house, we can maybe move in 1 year if we make this 1 year sacrifices. And so I really think my biggest thing is really just including the whole family, making it a family dinner conversation, not making our finances private. Because I grew up in a culture, I'm West Indian, West African. Both cultures, West Indian and West African, children are to be seen and not heard.
That's right.
And they don't include you in a conversation.
I'm
So they're not
Belizean, so I know. That's exactly what I've grown up hearing my whole life.
Right.
Right. And so when you're told not to be seen and not heard, they also don't share with you what's happening. Right. They just tell you no. So you grow up, and sometimes your parents, they look like they're rich, but you don't understand that they're working towards certain goals that are big long-term goals, because you don't know that. It looks like, do they love me? This is abuse,
Right.
and then sometimes you get yourself into trouble. Like, I've known one of my friends who, right. So it's just like, if you just include them in the conversation and go, hey, I work hard. And yes, it looks like I make a lot of money, but taxes can be very taxing, right? Taxes alone can be draining. So when we have these conversations with our children and we tell them, hey, that $1 toy is not just $1, it's $1.07 or 8 cents, depending where you live, and that we have taxes in certain states, those conversations will allow your child to be like more understanding, decide to budget better, save better, earn harder. And then also making sure every day I'm doing things that are helping build my business credit and personal credit, right? That's something that we don't talk enough about, but like business credit in America, period, is one of the most important things, right? Some other countries, I invest in multiple countries. Some countries, credit is not really prevalent. But in America, it's like, to me, number one. It's even more important than cash. Because if you have $300,000 in your bank account and you try to buy a house, but your credit score is like a 4.9, a 490, right? Let's say you have a 495 credit score. Guess what? Your APR is going to be really high. Your money's not going to go as far. You might not get as big of a loan. The list continues. So it's really important. I tell people, it's not just about the cash that you have. It's like, but what is your credit history? Are you showing people that you pay your bills on time? Are you doing everything that you need to do to build both business and personal credit? And if you think, oh, I don't have a business, I'm not an entrepreneur, I can't do this. But most people don't even know that even your regular 9-to-5 job, if you really wanted to, technically speaking, most jobs give you the capabilities of being able to receive your payment as a subcontractor, which means that you can then have a business and be getting paid that way, which means you take control of your taxes. Your tax liability might be lower. You also get to build your business credit and get more access to upfront capital at lower interest rates. The list continues. But most people don't do it because they're like, oh, but my 401k at work, I won't be able to qualify. But in reality, a lot of companies don't match 401ks any longer. So what is the benefit of you being in that 401k? Or are they benefiting off of you and you're not benefiting off of the fact that your money's in that?
Exactly. And can we briefly talk about some things that we can do to build both your business credit as an entrepreneur or a corporation and your personal credit? What are some things that you can do regularly to just continue on that path?
First thing I would say is, when bills are coming in, do not ignore them. I don't want you thinking because you ignored it that it's going to go away or they're going to give you an extension. I need you to tackle it head on. If there's a month where your finances are tighter and you can't make your minimum payment or whatever's happening, I need you to call that credit card company and ask for what they can do. Because most of these companies will be able to help you if you call them and you pick up the phone. That's one. The second thing is, so besides making sure you're making your payments on time, stop making minimum payments. So some months when you have a little extra dollars, make a second payment, right? If it was your minimum is, let's say $50 minimum payment, make at least $100, $75. Try your best to not make the minimum payment, because honestly, not only are you kicking yourself in the foot, depending on what your APR, your interest is, but as well, it impacts you. The next thing I would definitely say is if you're like a business, you have to make sure that you have your EIN, which is your employee identification number. So that's something that's really big. Another thing besides having your EIN, which is what allows you to like build business credit, keep track of it, is, you know, making sure you have like your DUNS number. Also understanding that the FICO for a regular personal credit score, if you're on a business credit, is a paydex, and the scale is different. It's like up to, the number goes to 100. It's not to like 900, 850 or anything of that nature. So you're looking at different numbers, sliding scale. And then do you have trade lines? So when I say trade lines, I'm talking about rather, let's say you have a shipping company or a books, and you're mailing your books out to clients, and so then if you could do anything that has a net 30, net 60, net 90, even your Amazon account can give you net 30, net 60, net 90. What does that mean? That means instead of you paying the bill all one shot, you can prolong it 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, which means it's showing you're kind of borrowing, and then you're paying it back when you're supposed to within that time frame. And all of that allows you to build your credit. But like even the Amazon, I know like 90% of people that I know use Amazon, even if their businesses are not. And most of them don't realize that you could be actually using Amazon to build your business credit. So it's just different ways, or even your rent.
No idea.
If you're a regular person, personal, I will just throw this out there. Your rent, a lot of companies now will actually submit your rental payments, and that will allow you to build your credit. And it's one of the simplest things. You know, there's even companies now, if you don't have good credit, that will allow you to use your rental history to get a mortgage, to qualify a mortgage. One of those companies is called Ready Life. And so, you know, just every day there's something you can do to be proactive, just making sure that you are being that person and you're paying your bills on time.
Wow, what a wealth of knowledge. Did you guys know that you could get terms of net 30, net 60, net 90 on Amazon? I have no idea. And I have a business Amazon account, which I rarely use. So I will stop playing around and I will go get the terms and buy something and continue to build my business credit. Thank you so much for that. Wow.
No, definitely. And then I would also say, now that we like, so that's just, Amazon was just one example, but there's just so many everyday things that we do, like Costco, that can also be helping to build your business credit. You know, so a lot of people have BJ and Costco accounts, and when you might even get the business account, but you're not realizing that these are things that you could be potentially submitting to help build your credit profile. So I behoove, like, you know, what's the Sam's Club? There's so many different platforms now that can be helping you to build this out. And it's just your everyday things. It's the toilet tissue, it's the paper towel, it's the food that you're buying. It's the business dinners that you can write off. You know what I mean? If you're building your brand and you're like, okay, I have to take this person out to dinner to try to play the game, guess what? Every dinner is a write-off. You know, so keep track of it, take pictures of it. There's scanners that you can utilize that digitize it for you. But even if you don't have a scanner and you're like, I don't want to spend the $50 on a scanner, then guess what? You have an iPhone, you have an Android, whatever phone you have, take a picture of that receipt and then just create a folder and you upload it. When it comes tax time, your accountant can utilize all of that information to help mitigate how much expenses you get to write off, and, you know, and help lower how much taxes you have to pay. So these are all things that we can be doing on an everyday to just lower our liabilities and increase our assets.
I love it. Do you mind if we quickly dip into investing on a personal level? Because I know that you did wealth management and handled a lot of money. But before you came in, we were talking about how just the average person is often overwhelmed or they feel inundated by the concept of investing. And you said some key things like having a regular bank account and then compared the growth on an S&P, right? On an annual basis, or how you would put money to the side to buy a stock that you were interested in. So can we talk about how just an average individual who's looking to increase their wealth can start to invest?
So the first thing I would say is, if you're looking into like the stock market, for instance, the S&P, like, you know, we mentioned S&P 500, but like, how do we get to that, right? You don't necessarily need to have a wealth manager to do that for you. It's just the first step is getting a brokerage account that you like, right? One of my favorite used to be TD Ameritrade, which recently merged with Charles Schwab. So now Charles Schwab is one of my favorites. And it's funny, Charles Schwab individually and TD used to be my two favorite. But once again, this is my professional opinion, this is not my advice telling you to go get them. The reason why I like them, professional opinion, is that, and I have to get the disclaimer, is because I feel like they give a lot of educational tools. They have paper trading, which is when you pretend to use fake money to invest in the stock market, so you could kind of see, hey, if I did believe in myself, what would it have looked like? And then there's a lot of platforms online that teach you how to trade in the stock market. One of my favorite shows on TV, once again, my professional opinion, on YouTube is Market Mondays with Earn Your Leisure, with Ian Dunlap. And, I'm not telling you to buy everything that they say to get, but I know that they give a lot of free educational information when it comes to the stock market and telling you who to look out for or who to pay attention to. But the most easy, actionable things you can do is get a brokerage account. Step one, right? That brokerage account, they're going to ask you questions like, how much do you make on average? Are you using your savings, etc.? And then from there, you're going to be, now that you have a brokerage account, the second question is going to be, do you want it to be FDIC or SIPC insured, right? One is for the actual stock market, the brokerage accounts insurance, or one is from the bank's brokerage, the bank's insurance. And what does that do? One allows you to save up to protect up to 500,000. One protects up to 250,000. One stays on the actual brokerage accounts platform, and one goes directly into your bank account. What is the benefits of that? What you should know is when you get a stock portfolio is that when you, let's say, make a profit, if you don't take it right outside of your portfolio, you have about a year to basically keep reinvesting that money before you have to pay taxes on it. But once you exit it from your stock portfolio and your brokerage account into your personal bank account, you're actually expected to pay taxes on it right away, which most people don't do. Most people don't know, because if you don't know, you don't do it. And so that's another thing to keep in mind. But you get to keep reinvesting your money tax-free into the stock market for about a year until it's time for you to pay your taxes when you leave it in a brokerage account. So that's one of the benefits. But once again, you have to choose what is best for you as an investor. Another thing is to keep in mind that you should look at how to pick the companies that you're investing in. Start with the companies that you utilize on an everyday basis. If you know you use chapstick and it's Smuckers, and Google up Smuckers and see, are they on the stock market? Are they publicly traded? And if they are, that might be a company you want to invest in. The reason why you should look at companies that you utilize on a regular basis first, the supermarkets you go to, things like REITs, real estate investment trusts. Those are some of my favorite because A, they give you dividends. Dividends are when you keep the stock, but the company gives you a profit just because you own it. Some of them are quarterly, some of them are yearly, and some of them are monthly, right? So, you look to see what company is doing what, and you receive these profits just by owning the company, even though you didn't sell the company. And so depending how many shares you make, you could be making anywhere from $100 to $1,000 a month of residual income just because you own a company. And so we have companies like REITs, real estate investment trusts. REITs are things like anything from, let's say Chick-fil-A. The company that builds out most Chick-fil-A's is an actual REIT. It's a real estate investment trust. It's a conglomerate that builds out a lot of restaurants like Arby's, etc. And so when you think about that, during COVID, I remember seeing 3-block lines, like lines that were 3 blocks long, of people who were waiting to buy chicken. I was like, let me go to see if this company is publicly traded. And then I noticed that the company that builds their buildings is publicly traded. Guess what I did? I invested in it. That's my professional opinion and my action, because I realized that this was a play that I thought was interesting. The phone that you utilize, do you have an iPhone? Are they publicly traded? We all know that Apple is publicly traded, and it's also a dividend stock. So now you're getting 2 benefits from this company. And as that company grows, your money and your profit is growing. Now, some of these companies might be $100 per share, but there are penny stocks, right? There are companies that are like $5 per share, right? To give you an example, JetBlue used to be like $12, $14 per share. I think right now it's averaging about $5 per share. You might be like
$6 actually. I
$6
went over. I think I bought them at $5.80 after they're dropped.
Right. So
Yeah.
so to give you an example, that might be a company. If you fly them a lot and you like their business etiquette, you might decide to invest in them. Me personally, I feel like the customer service has kind of been diluted for them. So I don't like to invest in companies where I'm like, if I don't like your customer service, then honestly, I'm not going to be paying enough attention to you. So I don't know if you're going to go down. So I'm just going to ignore you. But the companies that I do fly, the foods that I eat, the supermarkets that I go to, the hospitals that I attend, if my son has a boo-boo and I need to go to the hospital, guess what I'm going to do? I'm like, who builds this hospital? Right? Most people don't even know that the FBI, CIA, and all these federal buildings, their companies are built by REITs once again. So that might be a play that you might want to do. And then tech-wise, AI has been taking over. Who are the top leaders in AI? Who are the top chip manufacturing companies? Because we know that we keep hearing there's a chip shortage. So if there's a shortage, who are the companies that are in a position to actually provide the chips? These are all everyday things and usages and things that we're hearing in news. If we hear politically that we have a problem, and then, okay, well, who does that affect? Is it oil? Is it gas? What are the top leaders in oil and gas? Are they affordable? It's not all these companies that are $100, $200, $900 per share, like ASML that is like $900 per share. It could also be the everyday companies that are like $10 to $20 per share that you can invest in. Even if you're like on campus and you're a college student, guess what? As a college student, you might have a credit card. Is it Visa? Is it MasterCard? Are they on the stock market, right? You live in a dorm. Is your dorm on the stock market? These are all things that we can be everyday usages to kind of work our way towards investing. And it's not as complicated as we sometimes think it is. It's really as simple as sometimes knowing that, hey, someone might have a spike in their sales or have a crash in their sales because a celebrity that's famous might have been boycotting them, right? It's like someone like a Kim Kardashian. Let's be honest, the Bay Hive, Rihanna Soldiers, whoever, I think her Navy or something they call it, but like all these different communities, that they move the market. And so if you hear them talking negatively about a company, if you invest in it, you might be like, let me watch this company really closely because Bayhive is mad at them. Or wait, they're about to go move the market because they're about to go hard buying something that she's about to promote. So these are things that you can think about. I hope that was helpful.
You hope, man.
Yeah, you dropping bars and dropping jewels the whole
Okay.
episode, and the comment section is showing it on our live. Like everybody's throwing up hundreds, agreeing, saying yes, thank you.
For
So
real.
yeah, they're loving it, Kiana. So
For real. And even like my follow-up question was going to be to ask you to explain about dividends, but you got right into that too. So I love it, guys. And when you change the way that you think about things, right? Like you're scrolling on Instagram, you're scrolling on YouTube, you could be scrolling the financial sector to find out what's happening. And seriously, when you open your eyes and think about things that you use every day and trace it back to the companies, you can do it. And I do also want to say fractional shares is a great way to start as well. Like if you're buying something like Google, which now they did the split, so they're much lower than they used to be. But even like Tesla, which is probably like $1,000 a share or so.
No, it's like $100 and something. Tesla has crashed a lot.
Oh wow!
a
lot.
Oh,
and that's a warning. Like quick thing, just to put it out there. Always pay attention to what's happening. When you have someone like Elon Musk who tweets a lot and he pokes certain bears, pay attention to that, right? And don't fall into meme stocks. And what is a meme stock or a meme? Like let's say you're into crypto. What is a meme coin? It's just something that really has no foundation. There's no usage, no functionality. Sometimes people, just because a celebrity mentions it, like Elon Musk mentioned baby Doge, everybody ran and bought Dogecoin, but they didn't know why they were buying it. It had no functionality. It was just a coin that was cute, and a lot of people started buying it because it was cute. And then a celebrity mentioned it, and a lot of people jumped into the game. A lot of people lost thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars because they bought it because a celebrity mentioned it. So be careful of just buying something because it's trending. And always do your research, DYOR, do your own research. And another thing I just want to say, I mentioned stocks today because we were talking about stocks, but there's so many different things to invest in. If you're like baseball cards are still relevant, right? Silver coins, gold coins, actual pieces of gold and actual pieces of silver. Like silver right now, let's say between $20 and $30, that's $30 that you could have bought on a pie of pizza, or you could have purchased an asset that can go up in value. I remember when it was lower than that. I remember when gold was in like the hundreds, and then you're looking at it now at 5,000 for an ounce, right? And so when you're watching these things increase in value, but it's also the trading cards. Even these kids with their Pokemon cards. Some of these Pokemon cards, you buy them for like $20, and then they're worth like $300, $600. So it's not always the traditional ways of investing, but it can be art. If you see an artist that you feel like has a lot of hope and premise, buy their art for $50 or $100. You never know when it could become $1,000. So that's another thing to keep in mind.
That's right.
All I'm saying, VPR, over the Super Bowl, this ain't an ad for Easy or nothing. His $200 shoe he released for like $20 during the Super Bowl.
Wow.
People were pissed because it was just like, we just spent $250 on these shoes last week, and you're giving them. So,
I mean, they don't cost, right? Like either way, he's winning because
His cost is it's so easy to make it. It's legit a sponge. It looks like
I mean, let's be honest. The average Jordan or sneakers cost $1 to $5 to make.
That's right.
Sometimes the shipping is more expensive than the actual cost of the labor. And so when you're spending $300, $400, $200 on a pair of kicks, you're paying for marketing and branding. Very good marketing and branding. And that's fine because let's be honest, some of these things I wear them, you know, but when you look at someone buying Louis Vuitton's red bottoms at $900, $1,000 plus, you also realize that you're factoring in that because of the branding and the marketing, something that costs less than $20 to make. That is why when they decide to like lower the price, that is why when they decide to give you a discount, this is what's happening. You know, it's to them, it's nothing. When he dropped it for $20, it's like it probably cost him $2.50 to make.
That's right. Especially buying in bulk, right? Like they've got heavy production. So they have no worries about that. And again, if you're buying $300 to $400 kicks, right? Invest in the company. Right? Invest back in yourself.
I literally obsessively say this till I'm blue in the face. If you're buying Jordans, you own Nike stock. It is on the public. If you're buying a Pharrell Stay Humans, I love those. My son, those are his favorite pair of sneakers.
I got like 2 of them. So
like that. My son literally, he is spoiled. He hates regular kicks because he's like, I feel like my feet are being restricted. I'm like, okay. So
Pharrell restrict my feet, but okay, cool. I'm like, okay, right? You sure he like those?
Like, but for him. This little boy, his Pharrells and his Humans, he like the soft prime knit, whatever they call them. Yeah, since he's been a baby, he loves the prime knits, right? And so fast forward, guess what? My son owns Adidas shares, right? And you know, and different companies, keep in mind when we talk about fractional shares, not all companies allow you to buy fractional shares. Right. But if you have dividends, they'll allow you to reinvest, what's called dividend, reinvesting in the actual share that you have. But outside of that, some companies that do allow you to buy like $10 of a $50 company, you know, there are also companies that won't allow you to buy in other states. So some platforms will allow you to buy in Canada stocks that are relevant to Canada and other companies and other countries. So that's another thing to look out for. So you have to find the best fit for you. But yeah, man, let me tell you, the value of what you're buying, you should always think twice. Like, do you really want that? And if you're willing to spend money on $1,000 on a trip that, you know, honestly was a good experience, but do you ever see that money again? Technically, no. You just remember the memory, right? So that might be $1,000 that you want to sacrifice to invest in something that you'll actually get long-term gain from.
Right. I love that.
Well said.
Smarter. Think smarter, you guys. And I hope you receive this wealth of knowledge. I mean, in such a short time frame. Yeah. You know you're a teacher, right? Like she knows how to.
Almost like I sat back. It was her show for a second. I'm like,
the entire curriculum. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Before we go, please tell us what is next for you, where you're going to be speaking next, what's happening with your corporation with the children.
All right. So next for me, I just, so you guys are getting an exclusive. This is the first time I'm mentioning it in an interview. And I haven't even posted it on my Instagram, but I just actually finished shooting a show for Disney. And it released on February 3rd. So don't judge me. I still haven't posted it yet. I'm bad at that.
Hey, that's the VPR.
Know that VPR radio is where everybody drops the exclusive. Since we started in 2018, our guests have come on and dropped the exclusive. So you are just following the perfect pattern.
So the pattern is, the name of the show is called Our America in the Black. I'm a finance expert on the show, and we're giving actionable and executionable items for Black and Brown Americans on different stages of their journey. And so I hope you guys tune in. It's on Disney, on Hulu Plus, ABC 7. It's actually been airing. And then I actually just found out yesterday that I have a billboard in Times Square with my face on it somewhere. So that's also cool. And then outside of that, next for me, March 13th, I'll be back in London speaking at a conference, economic conference, and then the list continues. So please stay tuned on my Instagram. I actually will be posting way more this year because my new PR team, Tanae Nicole, don't play. So she doesn't play. So she's like, you have to post. So I'll be engaging you guys way more, and I'm posting more of the conferences that I'm speaking at. I know that in the summertime I'll be speaking at Essence Film Festival, part of Essence Festival. So that's also something exciting coming up. Those are the big things that I know off the bat that are in the top of my mind right now. And I look forward to engaging you more.
Amazing.
I just want you to know, people are texting me She's an amazing guest. I can't wait to rewatch that episode. I'm in the store listening.
Thank you.
I'm looking down. So thank you for
Thank
taking
you.
time out to come on the show today. We would love to have you back here.
Anytime.
And
Say the words.
I'm looking forward to it, Kiana.
Will do. I'm so excited. And shout out to your team, because you're one of a few guests that we have coming. And I can say that the compilation of powerful women that they have over there is everything. And
I'm in good company.
your
network is your net worth.
You
I'm in
really
good
are.
company.
And when I was reading everyone's bio, FMI, I was like, oh my God, they are so, if this is not alignment, right? It's probably how you felt when you were in the store and then everything. And next thing you know, you're Mother of the Year. I was like, these are all exactly who we need to have on the show right now. So this is beautiful. We cannot wait. Tell us about the name of the show again, because we're all going to be watching.
It's called Our America in the Black. It's a play on the fact that if you're in the red in finance, it's a bad thing. And in the black is where you want to be. You want to be stable financially. So shout out to Disney and Microsoft Philanthropy team. It was a collaboration between both worlds. And now Microsoft Philanthropy team, actually, we're doing this tour with a lot of athletes like NFL, NBA teams, where we're going to be going to individual teams. Shout out, one of the meetings we're going to have coming up is LSU. So we're like looking forward to just, now we're talking not just to the athletes, but their girlfriends and wives as well, where we're like, you know, between the NIL contracts that they have coming up. We have a program called From Birkin to Buildings, where we're helping women stop asking for Birkin bags. And we're like negotiating, like, okay, well, how about you learn to get asset classes, right? Right. And then we teach them, like, so the man is happy because he's getting 50% of the profit. She's happy because she now has residual income at 50% profit. You know, just teaching these kind of negotiating tactics. So we're helping our boys and girls, our men and women, just get financially on track. And so those are the things you guys can be expecting to be seeing posts about. So when you see us running around to Colorado and all these states, you know what's happening. We're taking over, and we're making sure that our names, our images, and our likenesses are not being utilized without us making sure we're getting the bag as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
In the words of Vaughn, not the Birkins.
That's right.
Not the Birkins.
Vaughn, I'm going to tell you.
Not the Birkins.
Trust me, that $50,000 that could have been purchased for a Birkin is
Right.
$50,000 that could have bought you a property that could then make you buy 10 Birkins by yourself.
Hello.
And so I think it's so important that we shift our mindset from momentary gain, because if financially you're in distress, guess what? That same Birkin that you might have bought for $50,000, you might only be able to get $20,000 for it when you sell it. But if you buy real estate in a prime location, that $50,000 investment might turn into a $300,000 investment. And, you know, and there are properties that you can buy, let's say like tax lien properties, real estate auctions, pre-foreclosure, foreclosure properties that you can buy that are worth up $500,000 that you can get for $100,000, for $75,000 if you're willing to do the research. So sometimes, you know, just gotta shift that mindset.
That's right. Shift that mindset.
Definitely VPR. You heard it here first, Thursday in the morning. Dr. Jatali, we appreciate you.
Thank you
for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Oh, it's been wonderful. Have an amazing day with your little one. Thank you for joining us. And
same to you.
That's such amazing information. And we look forward to having you back.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Enjoy. Ciao. Oh, FMI. I mean.
Yeah. What an episode.
What an episode.
I had one thing I want to say before we leave the show, guys, for everybody that's still tuned in. For the people that are having kids and the people that are not having kids, they just released a poll and a video. It roughly costs $300,000 to raise a child to 18 without schooling, the food and just being alive. You keep that in mind before you go outside and you look at someone in that way. Can you afford $300,000 for 18? You know, for 18 years.
That's right.
Just on food.
That's right. And I got 6 of them, so you already know.
You're a millionaire. Kiana been a millionaire. So, and that's not even raising a kid in New York. That's just in America.
That's right. Right. And this is why I've been couponing all the things she's talking about. Let me tell you something. I used to do the double coupons, and sometimes we would get stuff for free. I've done
I do the water bottle because I drink a lot of water.
I drink tons and tons of water. I don't play around.
I throw them right in my trunk, bro. I'm out.
This pet spermatozoa costs a lot, said Minx. I cannot.
Yo, son.
On that note, I hope you guys took so much information from here and you are going to do some research. You're shifting your mindset. You're looking around and saying, yeah, I do use a lot of that, or I do use a lot of this, right? Like Procter and Gamble, they own a lot of big items, Bounty, right? I use them. Go check them out. Pfizer, I'm not giving any advice. I'm just saying, check out the companies that you use on a regular basis. Jatali talked about the hospitals, the boo-boos, the Band-Aids, everything. Think about it. Grab you some shares after you do your due diligence. Pay attention to where your money is going. And we wish you wealth and great success. This was a great show, partner. I'm always appreciative to be here.
No, I'm gonna look forward to watching this back, and hopefully you guys do on the live as well. Vaughn, you really had me dying, and I'm still dying on the inside.
Me too.
I'll see you guys next Thursday.
Peace, guys.